Hello again, everyone, and I'm very happy to tell you guys that today is our meeting number 16. It's very exciting, and we finish 4 habits. And today is our group discussion. Today you will tell to us, share your experience, share your situations, and we will kindly discuss and kindly suggest. And please be ready. We had a great and big preparation for that. We don't need to be afraid to hear something. We are here to be better, right? To grow. And growing cannot go from too much niceness. If even we want to be train our muscles, we can go through some pain. And growth is absolutely emotional, like physical growth. It's hard work and this like and sometimes pain. Emotional growth, the same growth. You need to go through some acceptance. You need to go through some positive critique. Not just because, oh, you're so great, Patrick, Richard, you're fantastic, Violetta, you're so beautiful. Done. But we need to say something. So please, we are a good team. We know that we respect and like each other and want our best. And today I still want to start with our stars for the week. And our stars for the week, Jan, Patrick, and Richard. So guys, thank you so much for your great participations, as usual and always. Patrick, thank you so much for your sharing your calendar of wisdom. I always think about it. Thank you, Jan, for your deep thoughts. I can tell you I'm still thinking, and today I will tell something, but it's not the end, and maybe I don't know if I will come to the end in my life, if so deep your thought. Thank you, Richard. You're always provoking some topics, and just you like give us some topic, and we are from all sides. We are jumping on it, and we are fighting for opinion. So thank you to all so much. And right now, Jan will present us his win-win situation. Guys, can you imagine? I'm so excited to hear about it. So let me stop sharing. And Jan, can you start?
Yes, thank you, Lina. Let me. All right. So anybody can see my screen?
Wonderful.
Okay. Oh, this presentation, right? This
Yes.
okay. So I have a few screen here. Okay. Um. Okay. First of all, is let me get some background information here for this presentation. I I work in IT field. Is specialized in information security. I worked in blue team, red team, and sometimes I do security engineering for systems. I worked with cloud technology every day, but I'm only end user. I can tell that cloud technology is the future. So I want to grab this future. So, but to be a for that end user is not good enough. So I decided to look for opportunity which can train me systematically for the clouding technology. So I searched. I got this opportunity. There's a cloud technology training program provided by a big tech company. It's to me, it's just wonderful because it's 4 months full time and paid completely by the company. Also possibly just a job offer from the company after training. The qualification to apply, there's a few points for that. The only point which is bothering me is zero. It's a requirement for the IT experience because it required 0 or entry level IT experience. So it sounds like they're looking for new people. So that's a challenge for me because I could be disqualified for being overqualified for IT experience. So I decided to do something with a win-win. Okay. This is my win-win strategy. I want to understand first that what the company really want. And then based on my research, I create a trust relationship between me and the hiring manager. And then clarify the expectations and accomplishment. Then I add some value, to make myself to stand out from other application. So
Try to move a little bit to the right.
To the
or
right.
make it smaller, yes, because we see the part of your presentation.
Oh.
Whatever you see, we see the same.
Okay, yes, I think, let me.
And you did it.
Can you?
And now move slightly to the right. You did it at the first slide.
Okay, first slide. Okay, the first slide is okay.
Yes, and this is half of your presentation. We see only half.
Oh, what's going on here? Let me.
Yes, but right now it's wonderful.
Okay,
what
I think
you did
yes.
Right now?
I just
Yes.
leave my mouse alone. I use a keyboard.
Okay.
So now it's okay. There's a full screen.
No, it's still part. So make it smaller.
Make it smaller. Okay, let me.
But right now it's again good.
Okay, now it's okay.
No, the second
still...
slide. The second slide is still to the side. Guys, can you say something how to fix
I can
it?
see
Actually,
clearly
yeah, I see the background slide just fine.
everything. Me too.
Okay, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see it fine.
Good.
Okay. Okay, I will listen to you. That's fine. I don't
All right.
know what is that.
I can
Okay.
post it on the WhatsApp, the full presentation, so you can see it, the photos.
Okay. Still don't see. Okay, it's okay. I'm listening to you.
All right, good. Which page? Okay. Now, first of all, I want to know what they really want from this program. The company really want. According to my experience, any companies, and if they do some investment, they have a free stuff, and they want to maximize the return from the investment. So this make me get this 3 point actually, is to get the best homemade talents for the company itself. And the second point is supply qualified graduates for its own cloud technology in labor market. The third point is publicity. And okay, the third point is not relevant to me. So the first one and the second one is relevant to me. Okay, so what I want. As what I told that I want a systematic training on clouding technology and grow into cloud technology field. Integrated my IT experience skills and information security skills. So I also want some networking with this company, because this company is a clouding technology leading company. So, and luckily I get employed after the training. So that is exactly what I want. So they require a personal statement. So I put out the point, okay. So I create first of all, when I write this personal statement, I try my best to create a trust relationship. And the most important thing for a trust relationship is to be honest. And so I tell them the truth. I didn't what the English for that? Water down my IT skills and my IT background to meet the requirement for zero entry level people. So I tell them everything. I tell them that I'm a certified system engineer. I tell them I'm a certified information security professional, and I tell them how many years experience I have on IT and information security. And of course, I emphasize that, okay, I'm a power user of this company's cloud technology, but I don't know this company's technology, cloud technology inside out. And so I want to grow into this, I want to grow into clouding technology field. So I needed to know that this technology inside out. So I also show that my passions on IT and learning capability, because they don't want, I understand that they don't want find somebody and put money on it, on him or her, and then this guy just drop out, drop off. So I show them that my advanced IT certification with verification numbers that they can check online. And I also show them that my personal technical blog and the GitHub, and to show them that I'm a guy who continue learning things. I enjoy learning things. So make them confident to give me offer. And okay, I also in the personal statement, I also clarify the expectations and accomplishment. Okay, I told them that my goal is I pass the certification at the end of the program, and I will continue studying the technology, cloud technology. Finally, to get hired by the company, I told them that, okay, that the company, their company is a dream company for me. I want to use this program to turn my dream into reality. I also add some value because, yes, I told them that I will help other team member to learn cloud technology from information security perspective. So I got a interview opportunity from them. That is easy interview. It's very quick, only 30 minutes. As I know, normally it's called 45 minutes, but for me, it's only 30 minutes. I thought that probably this is a two possibility. One is that they don't want me, and so they just want to have a coffee break as early as possible. And the other opportunity, the other possibility is that they really want me. So I already done a good job in my personal statement to say they have nothing to ask. So of course, anyway, they turn out that it's a second possibility. There's no technical question asked, only behavioral questions. This asks something like, for example, how do you prioritize tasks? I just smiled a lot. Okay, not laughed, smiled when I do the interview when they ask us this question. Yes, we are 7 habit people, right? And that's the easiest question for us. And so I give them a little lecture on this, how to privatize things. Okay, at the end of the interview, they asked me a weird question. It's strange to me because I didn't prepare for this kind of questions.
What kind of question was?
Yeah, they are weird. Okay, a strange question because okay, they asked me at the end of this program, if I'm not selected by the company, they will introduce me to their business partners. So, and what the salary I expect. So, okay, it's really surprised me because as you know, I just told them my truth, and I thought I never thought about it because it's a strange, little bit strange because I haven't accepted by your program yet. It's a little bit too early to talk about this, think about this. So this their conclusion at the end of the interview, and they said, okay, I'm highly skilled as an IT professional and highly justified for the program. So that means yes, it's very good. Yes, I knew that I got the position, got the slot in the program. Yes, last Monday I got the offer from them. Yes, I was accepted by the program. So what I have learned, yes, we have to be courageous and to try and do to let the opportunity go and always hope for the best. And yes, we also have to be considerate and not self-centered when we apply a job or when we apply a training opportunity, because just like before that, I probably, before I learned win-win, I probably just talk about a lot about me, what I want, what I want from this job, and you know, is that's not good, that's not effective. So the third thing is that for me, I have learned is enumerate, and enumerate again. Yes, enumerate, that means for pen testing, penetration testing, that's to collect information, as many as possible. So do the research, understand what they really want. So the last point I have learned is always have a plan B for win-win no deal. Yes. Yes, I have a plan B. I am now is taking a class, a clouding technology class from a local communication college. That's a 3-credit class. I can do it during evening. So that's my plan B. Now seems that I am going to drop off that class.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions and comment?
Go ahead, guys. Patrick, please.
Hey, Jan, man, I love your methodicalness of this win-win. I mean, you know, I think you miss your calling as a freaking strategist, man. It's fantastic. And you know, the thing is, you know, I mean, I have a finance background, and I basically had, you know, back in the old days, I've sat in like M&A deals, mergers and acquisition deals. And you're right. A lot of people, all they say is like, I want this, I want that. And oh, what? You want this? Nah, we have to think about it, right? Whereas you actually flip the table to say, hey, what is it that you want? And that's what, you know, Covey teaches, right? The 7 habits. And I think, you know, I love the fact that you're so methodical, and the other person probably seen it. They're like, okay, this guy is serious. He wants to come in and he wants to be an asset to the company. And you know, the fact that you've shown based using empirical evidence in terms of your experience and your certification is like, you're seriously legit. So, and also, if I was a company, I was like, you know, this is an undervalued asset that I'm actually paying below market value for. And that's going to basically produce a lot more, right? Because you have a lot more PC than, you know, than what they need right now, you know? So I think it's fantastic. So you know, the weird question that they ask, you know, why do you think it's weird? I think they're setting you up for something good. So why do you think it's weird?
Did I turn my mic off?
No, your mic is on. I hear it.
Okay, good. Yes. I think that is a training program.
Yeah,
Right?
but the thing is, the training program needs to lead you somewhere, right? If they're saying like, hey, you know what, if you flunk the training program, you know, I want to make sure I regurgitate what you said, right? Repeat what you said. So they said if you don't like pass the training program, you don't get hired by the company, they'll introduce you to a business partner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think, okay, the logic behind this is that, okay, they will sell me out. I mean, you know, they trained me and they will introduce me to something, some company, other company, if they don't select me, and they probably get commission on it.
Well, yes and no, right?
Yes. And also because it's as was said, okay, I did a lot of research on it, and so there's some leaking about the questions, interview questions, but nobody mentioned this.
Huh. Okay.
So that surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it demonstrates a couple of things, right? It demonstrates that you know, I mean, the thing is, I don't know how much you play poker, but you know, this guy obviously showed his hand, right, to kind of hint to you that, hey, we really like you, and we think, you know, you're a value add to us, right?
Okay, so, I got you now. I got, thank you. Yes. Yes, thank you. I got you. Yes, I understand now.
Okay.
They want me. Yes, and they want to. Okay, I got it. Yes, I got it. This, maybe they think I how can I say that is
and you know, the salary
want to attract me.
Yeah, the salary question, right? In my opinion, is, you know, if they do get a commission, right, they want you to basically bid high. Right, because you know, basically commission is basically a percentage of salary, right? If you use the recruiter sign. So anyway, I think it's great. I think that you're so methodical. I love that. It's so just how long did it take you to prepare all this, like to actually go through the whole cycle?
Go through this whole cycle. Let me think. let me think about it. Probably a few weeks.
Few
Okay,
weeks. Wow.
yes, a
Okay.
few weeks. I mean the cycle is the how can I say that? I know this I know this opportunity on
Mhm.
January,
Okay.
but it's open on February for application. So this is 2 months.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
Brian, please. Please, microphone, Brian. Turn on your microphone.
There we go. It just wouldn't click for some reason.
Mhm.
No, I actually agree with Patrick. I thought you did I thought that's really really interesting. I know from a personal perspective, I've been trying to transfer myself, or to get myself into more of the technology side. And so to hear about sort of how you went about, doing this and stuff is really interesting. And I think a lot of the points about, what you did and everything is very very insightful, and it's good to hear sort of how you went about it. And yeah, I thought it was a very good presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Richard?
Yes, again, great job, Young. And
Thank you.
I think I've probably learned a few things myself. And
Mm.
if possible, if you could, I know we can review the video, but if you could share your presentation with us, I'd read it over a few times to make sure I've got that solidified in my mind, how this process worked, because I think it would benefit not only myself, but all of us in some way. Great job.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, guys. Jan, I completely agree with everyone. I absolutely love your presentation. I have a little bit background in human resource. Just half a year I studied, and my background, I had business for 15 years, and I was hiring people. So I know how it looks at the other end is differently than when we are going to interview. What we are thinking when we are going for interview, they don't do a thing, they just waiting for us. And when I'm coming, I'm alone in the whole world, and they will talk only about me. And in fact, they are making you think that they are only thinking about you, that and only interested in you, and they make you comfortable, and you are talking, and of course you're talking about yourself, and you didn't prepare a thing, you didn't search about the organization, you don't know, you don't prepare the questions for them. And then you're surprised that the interview was wonderful. You were chatting like your friends forever. And then they write to you, sorry. So you did fantastic job. And how you approach from what they need, I was really, really impressed. It's a very deep approach. And yes, as soon as you said that, I thought that you will be hired. Of course, something can happen, but it's already not would be on your side that you didn't do something right. So you did everything right, and the way your approach, again, I would like to repeat, it's completely wonderful. And yes, they like to ask questions, and especially about salary. And I agree with Patrick. To me, it also wasn't any weird. What they're basically asking, if you research and know how much they are paying. not
Mhm.
how much you want, but if you are going into the company which are paying, for example, from $10 till $15 per hour, and you're coming and saying, I'm a manager, I want $50 per hour. So it's kind of doesn't work. So when you're going, you need to know how much for this position the organization is paying. But of course, you can mention, I know that this position is paying that, but for example, I have this qualification. Let me start, and I will show myself later, and I hope that it would be raised. So that's great. And of course, we need to prepare some questions. They all the time they are asking, do you have any questions for us? And if a person says, no, I'm fine, it's also a big minus. So you need to ask anything. What is the schedule? How? Tell me about people who are doing great. So whatever. But you need to ask. But you, not but, and you did wonderful job. Thank you so much. I agree with Richard that I actually will look also again through your presentation.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I just stop sharing. All right. Okay.
Thank you again, Jan. Our applause to you. I have an offer to you. We can discuss a little bit chat, or we can start right away with discussing what you prepared. I would like to offer to start with your things which you prepared, because if we will start to discuss our discussion board, we don't stop. we can discuss till the end of the meeting. So let's say I will look the time, and we will leave like 15, 20 minutes for the discussion board, because it's interesting topics for there. And it will be at the end. Right now, please, who would like to offer or discuss what you prepared, what you have? Or win-win situation, or if you didn't come to that, or didn't have the opportunity, or you are in a process, just something what is bothering you. Yes, Patrick.
So like last week, I've talked about, a situation that I was in, and obviously it actually came out to be no deal, right? And I expected it. So I mentor people, especially like entrepreneurs that are looking to start up, and especially in the social sector, meaning social entrepreneurs that want to basically use their products and services not only to make a profit, but also to lift up the community that they serve. So this person that I was mentoring, and basically it went back to November, and we started, I'm the type, so this is my principle, right? I basically trust somebody until they prove to me that they cannot be trusted, right? So it was November, December, January, right? So I basically told them that, look, so one of the paradigms that I use for a business startup is what they call the lean startup. So you basically test things really fast to see what works and what doesn't. And I kept telling this person that, hey, you have either you buy into this, right, and you test out and give me results so that we could look at it together, right? Or you propose to me what what you're looking for, right? And then we could work something out, right? So he was like, yeah. So basically, I finally got something, right? And sadly, it was like 6 bullet points, and this is the quote unquote business plan. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I was disappointed. I told him like, look, this is not exactly a plan, but you know what? But I could work with this, right? Because that's what lean is, right? We test something, we take an idea and we test it. And even with that, right, And I told him, like, can we agree on like you at least, you know, do what you say you're gonna do and pick up some and basically collect some data. I don't care what it is, just collect some data so that we could see whether or not we could proceed with your idea, or we pivot to something different, right? Because I'm here to help you, right? You know, I'm not charging you anything. You basically seek me out to help you, so I'm willing to help you, right? So him and Hall, and he basically, so this person basically just like flaked out and say, oh yeah, you know, you're no good, da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, you know, that's fair, you know, because you could make that judgment without any empirical evidence, that's fine. So I basically said, okay, you know, if you cannot abide by the agreement that we have, like you know, we agree on like, you use this process, right? That you're gonna generate some data, and then we can move to the next step, right?
Mhm.
So, or, you know, if there's no next step, there's nothing to do. So that's what we're at, right? There's nothing to do. So,
Mhm.
you know, our relationship basically, you know, didn't flourish. So my question is, could I have done something different? First question. Second question is every relationship worth saving? So those are my two questions.
The second question, can you repeat?
Is every relationship worth saving or salvaging?
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, guys.
Well, I take it. First, well, I can't really say I know that much about you know, the business world or anything, but it seems to me, Patrick, that you did a really nice job, I guess. I mean, you sort of gave, you know, you gave the person a chance to sort of, you know, present what they wanted to do, and you know, and you sort of gave them an idea about what you wanted, you know, what you needed to go ahead with this, and then they, you know, didn't live up to that, and in the end you sort of said, okay, that's it's not going anywhere, so that's the end, or maybe it's not the end, maybe they'll come back to you in the future. um the other question about every relationship, I definitely think not. I don't think I definitely think, you know, I mean, if you had an infinite amount of resources and an infinite amount of energy, then maybe, but you know, it's but I think, you know, we're all finite beings here, and we all sort of have to, you know, keep our, you know, circles and everything to a certain point. So I don't think you can keep every relationship, you know, yeah, or salvage every relationship. You sort of do what you can. I mean, it's always two people, you know, at least two people in a relationship, and a lot of times toxic relationships or whatever are just not salvageable. You just sort of have to walk away from them for your own good, you know. Anyhow,
Okay.
there was something else I wanted to talk about, but Patrick sort of is on center stage here, so I'll just shut.
Dude, you could take over anytime, man.
Now we will finish with Patrick, and then we
Finish
will
with
go to
Patrick.
your Brian. Yeah, absolutely. Richard, please.
Oh, my mic is on. Okay. Yeah, I agree with Brian that not every relationship is a win-win. And I think you felt early on that that this particular relationship had some issues, and you could have gone with that. But you know, I think from our knowledge, we can tell these situations, whether they're positive or negative, and then take action accordingly.
But the thing is this, right? You know, so this is like, you know, I look at it as a weakness. Well, I react to it as a weakness, but I actually think as a, you know, for me, the long run, as a strength, right? To suss out what individual is worth building a relationship with. because yeah, I feel guilty. I really feel guilty. Like, look, this is a great plan, but if you're just talking about it and not executing, then you and I are wasting time. And the thing is, it's like I want to help him. Yeah, I was like, because he comes across as like needing help, right? Because he doesn't have the skill to basically pull this off on his own whatsoever, right? So I was like, dude, I'm asking you like for one little thing, one little tiny commitment. And so like I personally feel guilty that that I didn't. Well, I want to validate that I did everything I can to basically help this person. And the reason why that I'm bringing this up is because it still bothers me. Usually it doesn't bother me this much, but this one bothers me because of the circumstance, because I clearly communicated with this person that what is needed. So it's like, maybe I missed something. I don't know. This is one of those post-mortem that, that of your failure that I'm like, where did I go wrong?
Guys, can I offer to you right now? We are having discussion. You can just discuss without raising your hand, because maybe you want to add something while Patrick is talking. So can you just talk right now?
Well, it's interesting, Patrick, that you I kind of understand why you'd feel bad about it, I guess. But do you have any sense of what you could have done differently? I mean, when you I mean, maybe not right now, maybe it's too early, but
no, I'm actually like John. I'm very methodical. I pre-plan everything. I basically pre-plan. I pre-plan down to the conversation, the words I use. Right? I use basically keywords. Like, we want to keep this lean. We want to make sure like we have basically data that prove your concept works. Right? I was like, it doesn't have to be sexy. It just has to work. It has to be functional. That's all and he's like, yeah, Pat, I love your idea. It's so easy. I'm like, okay, go do it.
Yeah, right.
Well, Patrick, all is not lost, by the way. What I would say, though, that it seems to me that this person is not ready. At some point, they may be ready, but and you may have to wait it out. But all is not lost.
So that it's interesting you mentioned that, because when when Jan was presenting his last slide was like, I have a plan B, win-win or no deal. So it's like, my plan B right now is like win-win, but not right now, win-win or not right now, right? Instead of no deal. So
yeah, I agree with Richard. I think it could very well, end up working out in the end. You don't know. I mean, sometimes a person just has to walk away from things and see what happens in the end.
Yeah, it just, but it bugged me, mainly because that, I thought I was basically I am one of those, I strive to basically make, an entrepreneur's life easy, right? Because I know what they're doing is not easy. Because like I'm actually a partner in a startup, and I know it's not easy, right? Because you get knocked down left and right. But the key there is basically, but I know the process that you get traction, and I try to make it easy for them, and for whatever reason, the receptivity is not there, or like you guys said, maybe they're not ready because they're not have the same mindset. They could talk about it, but when rubber meets the road, when they actually have to do it, they're not willing to make the commitment. And yeah, so I could see that.
Patrick, it might be something of, sort of alluding to what you sort of alluded to this. It might be just levels of experience. I mean, you have so much experience by the sounds of it. Like you've done so much work in this type of thing, right? And maybe this person, doesn't really realize what it takes to do the job or to do this, right? And so they're sort of expecting, I don't know, whatever, different thing, but your experience sort of tells you these things need to be done or else it's not going to work. And they just may be thinking, magic or whatever, something like that. So my
Yeah.
guess is it sounds like this person just doesn't know what to, like they have an idea in their mind, but they don't actually know how to go about doing it. And they're probably not mature enough, maybe that's a guess, not mature enough to understand that they have to do more than just have an idea. Anyhow, that's
Yeah.
sort of a guess.
Well, yeah, the emotional maturity, I think it's part of it, right? But anyway, I mean, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, now I'm re-dipping my toe into that pool again, to basically thinking, okay, I'm going to help another person. And because now I have this hesitation that's like, dude, you failed the last one. Don't you want to take a break?
You can help me if you like.
Hello.
Yes, Charles?
Charles, go ahead.
Hey, Pat, how you doing? Well, based upon the two questions you asked, right?
Mhm.
I mean, initially, what you did was good because you've given instructions, and that's also gives you an indicator of what this person is going to do or not going to do, and that's very important because that should give you the confidence that you've given them instructions, and if they haven't followed through, now remember, you're doing this for free. So free is like, okay, or you're doing a pro bono and you're trying to, build up a reputation if that's what you're trying to do in regards to helping other entrepreneurs. But what is very, very important if individuals do not follow instructions, that's a clear indication that you've done your job. So you should feel good about that. And secondly, hey, you move on when that person is ready, because if he had to pay for your time, then maybe he might have approached it differently. But free is not also, you kind of get what you get for free. But overall, I understand, being that I'm new to this group and I'm just kind of processing the information. But what I've learned being in business, a win-win is, you've given instructions, he hasn't followed through, and definitely, you're not cutting this person off. You're just saying, okay, well, fine. When you're ready, come through so we can have a win-win relationship. So again, and yes, not all business is good business. So some business is worth walking away from, because if they're not appreciating what you've given them, then yeah, okay, next.
Thank you.
That makes sense?
Yeah. So I
That makes
guess,
sense.
I'm hearing like, yeah, maybe you should, dip your toe back in the pool.
What, as far as yourself?
Well, as far as basically helping another person, because
Yeah,
I get I basically get requests like periodically, and it's usually this time of year that people like to start new things. I'm like, okay, and see where it goes, but and it's just one of those things that I think about mainly because oh, and by the way, everything I do is not free, right? It's basically equity based. Basically, I take take compensation on the back end, right?
Okay.
I basically not on the front end, right? So,
Okay,
and
which is fine.
yeah, and the thing is that compensation vary, right? It could be zero or it could be a lot, right? So, and it all depends on the situation. But the key,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's just that in situations like this, it makes me think about, when win-win situations are very rare and it's very hard to come by. Not only in business relationships, but also in personal relationship, right? So that's why I I pose in terms of my question in terms of relationship, it's really it comes down to, it doesn't matter whether it's business or personal, it's really the person that you're dealing with, like the character that they have, right? And it's like I mean, I've been practicing the 7 habits. I'm not a master or anything like that, just been aware of it for like over 10 years and stuff, but and like I'm not perfect, I fall off the wagon a lot of times. So it's to me the 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 heart of the win-win, right, is you kind of have to basically master your own private victory from the perspective of you basically have to know that, okay, you did everything you can to help this person genuinely, transparently, ethically, but if they don't come through, right, that is part of the process. That is part of the program that you know that, okay, you know, this is probably not a relationship you want to be continuing with. You have to move on to, you know, something different, and then don't sweat it, you know? It's like, so it's like making an investment, right? You pour all this in, initial capital, whatever, right? It turns to zero, and you're not going to cry about it because you took a risk, right? So investment is easy because, like, okay, it turned to zero. It's quantitative. You can see it. It's like, okay, you know what? I screwed up on this one. Let's move on. Well, relationship is different because it's so dynamic. So that's why, you know, from time to time, I'm still having a hard time when I fail at things like this, because I feel like, man, I'm not sure, you know, or I should say, like, what am I missing to do better next time? I guess is the thing that I always, you know, that's why these, like, I always dissect my failures a lot more and postmortem my failures a lot more, mainly because I want to learn what, you know, what I did, what I could have done different or better, so that it decreases my chance of failure for the next time, if that makes sense.
That's amazing, actually.
Absolutely.
That's amazing, Patrick. I mean, that is amazing. You know,
it's you know, for me, it's, you know, it's heartbreaking for me personally, because I'm like, dude, you know, it's like, you know, you have a track record, but yet you're still flunking. Why? I was like, well, I guess that's part of the deal. That's part of, you know, being human, and that's part of the game that we play.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's part of life, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time. Brian, you could go next if you want. But thank you for all your input. I appreciate it.
Yeah, can I say my opinion?
Uh-oh.
I am sorry, Lita. Yes, please. You're saved the
Absolutely.
best
No,
for
that's fine.
last.
I'm very happy, guys. You were talking, and you were talking from your hearts. Wonderful. Let's come back to your question. What I can make different? We are actually here for that. I'm very happy that everybody supported you, and I absolutely with them. I absolutely support them, and I absolutely see that you did all you can. What is relationship? Is it about one person or two? So when you said, Patrick, you said that win-win situation, it's about your own private victory. Are you sure that it's about win-win? If you will be only about your private victory, the other person will be only about his private victory, what kind of relation it will be? It will be win-lose. And when two win-lose meet, what situation will be? Lose-lose. So it's not about your private victory. It's about understanding the other person. How much did you understand him? How much did you learn about him? Did you ask him what he likes? Did you ask him what he wants? Did you ask him at the end what didn't was on his way and why he didn't do that? Maybe he hates it. But can you imagine, you are, first, you are professional. Second, you are very knowledgeable in your topic. So I am absolutely sure you were telling and telling and telling to him what he needs to do, because you were ready. You're professional. And how much did you learn about him?
So, you know, you brought up a good point. I guess I didn't, you know, tell a whole complete story. So like I said, I'm very methodical, like, you know, similar to Jan, but not at Jan's level. my first thing is basically I asked, this person, hey, you know what problem are you trying to solve here? Right. So tell me why you want to do this. In fact, he actually had a personal story that I say, this is a great, that is awesome. That's a great, unique, value proposition that you could basically craft together. And I gave him idea. And in fact, I gave him a couple of pointers that he actually created this, uniqueness about what he's doing, his competitive advantage. So, and I always, so part of what I always do is I always ask why. So, it got to the point where the certain why it was, it was like he wanted to do this, for himself, right? And also, for his family. I was like, that's great. There's no shame about that, and you basically you also want to serve your community, which is great too, right? So it's like a triple win. So why are you ashamed of that, right? And so I did get to know him a little bit, right? More so than I would just have a casual conversation with somebody, right? The other thing, as things were coming up, I was like, there might be like an integrity or value system issue, right? That means, what it means is basically that, the value exchange is not fair. He wants more than he's willing to give. Not from me, but from the market he's looking to serve, right? So for example, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna basically, go put together a program to get donations. I'm gonna basically, get grants, but I don't know how to write grants, so I need to get, hire a grant writer. I was like, well, where are you gonna get the resources to hire a grant writer, right? So and so I was like, well, you need to basically do what you could do now, right? And they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna basically just go get donations. It's like, well, how are you going to get donation to fund a program if you haven't demonstrated the effectiveness of your program? So there was things like that, and to tie back to like the win-win, I was like, well, what value are you basically providing to the donor that trusts you with their resources to help you, to basically allow you to execute, right? So all those things were not thought through, right? But I basically like pinpointed those things to him. I was like, these are the things you have to be very clear about, because remember, I was like, now you are a steward of someone else's resource that they trust you with. So you have to demonstrate that you can be trusted with that resource, right? So, and that wasn't clear, right? So that was gotcha one, right? Gotcha two was, like I said, I was like, well, why don't you come up with a plan, test your proof of concept, and then you could go and say, hey, this is what I'm looking to fund, right? And then I was like, in terms of the grant writer, I know a few that probably could help you, pro bono, right? So, but we never got that far, right? So I, in terms of answer your question, I guess I should have basically ask more questions and do more listening in terms of the responses.
Yes, Patrick, it's exactly what I want to say. So, thank you but we don't need so many details, because we know you and we know that you did everything great. This is not the point in details. This is the point what we can do differently. And differently, we need to know person as much as possible. That's it. This is only one point. Win-win situation. It's about understanding and give him to feel that you are willing to listen to him. And maybe from the first time person cannot be open. He cannot. But ask him again, or even propose what do you think, how would you approach this situation? I'm offering to you my way. If you would be able to do it, how would you do it? So no, I just don't know. I don't want to repeat again the third time, but my only approach it's get to know a person as much as possible, his weak part and his strong part, and make a person understand that if he didn't do it, it's he did it because he didn't want to. But if we will show our professionalism, if we will tell this, person will be can be overwhelmed. Again, please don't think that I'm devaluate your you are a master of your thing, what you are doing. I don't devaluate you. I'm just answering the question from my point of view, what I can do different.
No, I think I appreciate the perspective. Like I said, you know, I am one of those people that in situations like this, I prefer a 360 perspective so that, you
Right.
know, what I could do better next time. So I appreciate
Yes,
it.
and my
And don't hold
pleasure.
back because I actually have a very thick skin. So
Wonderful. And about our values, about our private victory, what I want to say that we need to keep it inside. Yes, it's our center, it's our principle, but we need to think about other people. So we don't think about our private victory. Guys, we already have it. We already have it. Why we need to prove somebody? If we will prove somebody our victory, it will be win-lose situation. 100%. We need to give to other people to win. Of course, not that at our expense, but to open the other person, make him comfort talking with you. Okay, thank you. Do we have time for our Brian?
Well, I think well, I think okay. So the situation that I'm dealing with is a lot different probably than what well, I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching a class. I'm teaching a couple classes, and to date, what we've done, the university has had us online, so we've been doing Zoom stuff and things like that. But apparently, starting in March, they want us to they want us to uh, they want us to return to in-person classes, which personally I feel is a terrible idea because we've been doing this now for like 6 weeks or whatever, and that for the month remaining they basically want us to push back into the classroom, for 1 month, basically completely change the whole classroom environment and everything. And it's like all of a sudden we're just supposed to pivot on this and do things completely differently than what we've been doing for about whatever, what I've been doing for about 8 months or whatever, or 6 months. But okay, so I don't like this idea. I disagree with the university that I don't think mid semester is a time to just force everybody to make a change. And so I've sort of been thinking about this, and a student mentioned to me that other professors, I guess, are sort of deciding based on what the students prefer. So my thought was that what I decided to do is to open the discussion to the students and to see what they prefer. I sort of put it out there that my reservations about this, that I don't like the idea of just trying to change, because what we have right now seems to be working pretty well. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's working pretty well. And so I just put it out there. I sent out an email and said to everybody, it's like, you know, this is the situation. The university wants us to do this, but I don't feel that it's a good idea. But I'm willing to, you know, I'll go with what the university says, but I would prefer to stick with the online thing, pending, you know, what you guys would prefer. So, so basically, I asked for the students' feedback and to what they prefer, because in my mind, you know, it's about the students really, what they want, more so, you know, than even my own personal preferences, which would be to remain online. But you know, I want to give them sort of the, you know what they need. So so basically I sort of started I started doing this a couple days ago, so this is all pretty, you know, sort of new and everything. It's all pretty fresh, but there's some other issues involved that I'm concerned about, because you know, because there's so much politics involved in this stuff. But I'm sort of, I guess right now, you know, I didn't even really have anything planned to present on this at all, so it just sort of came up. But that's kind of where I'm at right now, is trying to figure out sort of, you know, how to maneuver through this, because I think I'm gonna, you know, I'm just sort of trying to see what happens. There's a lot of thorns involved, because you know, because it's really highly, university these days is so highly political and everything. I guess I'm kind of just, you know, beginning to get, you know, little insight into to the whole thing, that, you know. But anyhow, so I'm sorry, I'm sort of rambling on, but that's kind of the situation as it stands. I didn't really have a clear presentation because I just thought of this now. But so I'm sort of, I you know, I want to help the students as much as possible, but I don't like the idea of going back to in-person teaching at this point. So anyhow, so that's kind of my situation right now. But trying to figure out how what the best path for this is. So anyhow, so
Any opinion?
yeah.
What are the options? I mean, either you continue Zoom or go back into class.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty much the two of them, as far as I can make out. I mean, yeah, that's about it. Either continuing the Zoom lectures. I mean, you know, I have the idea of, you know, if there are any students who, you know, who don't want to continue, or at least are hesitant about the Zoom type of thing, that I would try and help them more personally. You know, try to do something more in person, you know, with them impersonally. You know, I'm open to listening to students' concerns on the issue, you know, but I think that's about the only two options I can think of. You know, the university wants one thing, and I'm not convinced it's the best idea. So.
Well, I mean, I think the upside is that you're actually taking the step to solicit feedback from the student. What do they want, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, you and your student would come up with a plan that maybe the university would accept, right? Because we are living in very interesting times from a perspective of,
Yeah.
you know, things like, so my wife is also a professor at UTA, and she's actually been experimenting what they call a hybrid class,
Right.
where they, you know, they're in person and also they're online. Obviously there's technology involved, and
Right.
and things like that. But the thing is, you know, the win-win situation here is really, I think you're in the beginning stages, at least, you know, listening or at least getting feedback to understand what the students want, right?
Right.
Because the student is
Right.
the customer, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
unfortunately, you're in a situation where you have to answer to two masters, right? The university, right, that pays you, right? The student who pays the university. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Patrick. I appreciate the feedback. That's pretty much, you know, I guess, yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think you're right. I've just been trying to sort of flush this out and see where it goes, I guess, because I don't I you know, without going too much into it, I do not like the idea of going back to campus right now. You know, there's still you know, you guys don't live in Canada, so you know, it's nothing to you, but up here it's been pretty crazy and stuff like that. So and you know, it's highly political, and I don't want to be, you know, I think right now that you know, I mean, basic, you know, like I said, we've been doing something now for 6 or 7 weeks that, you know, that even from the feedback I've been getting from the students, you know, that it's been okay, you know, it's been pretty good. That all of a sudden now, you know, for about a month or so, they want us to just suddenly go back into the classroom, you know, and it's like, I don't see how that can really benefit the students in reality. It might benefit the university, but I don't see it as benefiting the students, you know. It just doesn't. Not right now. Anyhow,
Okay,
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyhow.
So I see also the point, and I'm ready to say my opinion. So let's do this. First, what I would do. This is not again an example. It's not doesn't mean that you have to do that. It's just what I would do. Let's look again from their perspective. Right now, again, we understood that you don't like it. But let's imagine that you are a dean, right? And what would be on your mind? Why you are doing that? Just imagine why you are doing it. Maybe because you're concerned with the quality of education. Maybe you think that online education is not that deep as one-on-one, like face-to-face. I know some parents even refuse to send the students to school where it's only online. They are want only face-to-face conversation. Am I right? I know some parents personally who refused, and while it was pandemic, children was at home because they said online education is not that deep. While I do not support that, what I would do, I would go first to Dean, and I would have the conversation like Jan had. Or what I posted when I had the win-win situation with that girl, organizer in other group. Do you remember? So first, I would say something like that. I understand that, dear blah, 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 that your decision based on some serious point. So start with him, not with yourself. Can you let me know what is that? And for example, he's saying education, no, I cannot manipulate what he's, speculate what he will say, but first let him to tell you everything what he think. Why? he is doing that. And only after, and for yourself, you need to prepare some valuable point. Of course, not that, and I know you never would say that, but just let me just exaggerate a little bit, that not, of course, that you don't like that point. It's absolutely not, because they are looking for teachers who dedicated themselves to any circumstances for the benefit of students. So they are looking for that. So, and then I would say my points. I think that online education benefit. Why? Why? Because students do not get sick from each other. Students, they have more time to prepare for the education, for the lesson. They have more time because they don't go back and forth. Right now, it's not safe, the weather. How can I improve the quality of education if you think that it's not enough? To me, it's right now the time when almost all universities are going online. It's already our time. We cannot go how it was before. Let's see. And the last thing, let me ask students. I wouldn't go right now, right away to the students, because it's considered from the point of Dean jumping over the head of him. To know he might won't like it. So after, when you had an open conversation, I wouldn't come and accuse why you are doing that. First, I would listen to his point completely. Then I would put my point completely. And then I say, while I see your great points, I still think my points are important, have some good points too. Let's ask students. We are here to satisfy them. We are here to do the best for our students. Let's see what they want and make openly vote and know their opinions. Yeah.
Yeah, I think no, I think you're I mean, you make good points, Lena. I think yeah. You give me a lot to think about, I think. So I appreciate that. Yeah. There's a lot to think about. I mean, you know, I'll have to think about it right now.
Okay.
I think you've given me a lot to think about.
We all
because I
have, yeah.
because I know yeah, I don't know. I mean, really the whole thing, the whole way it's been done and everything has been so slipshod and stuff from the very beginning, that the way the university has just done things has
Okay.
been pretty
Okay,
crazy.
guys.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Brian. So whoever have something and didn't have time today, yes, I hope next time. Let's do this here. So next time we will discuss somebody one, and it would be just one person, and it would take exactly something like 20 minutes or half an hour. So be ready for next time, and we will discuss your situation. So guys, and remember that while we keep inside our problems, they are like in darkness, and they are growing inside of us. But as soon we will able to speak about them, we are like bringing them to light. And they even by themselves disappear. And actually, it's going like that. When you start to speak on them, it's already become easier for you. And do you remember last time we said that it's where the life begins? Because you are going out of illusion. You're living in illusion when you're hiding the problem. And the final point, when we know that we solve our situation, then we will start to laugh about it. So first, it's very difficult to say even. Then you start to see the solution and you start to solve it. And then when you laugh, you can know that this is the final point, you solved your situation. We have just 5 minutes. Let's jump quickly to the our message board and see what we can do. Так, let me share. So, yeah, let's stop. We had, I didn't post it, but I hope everybody read what Jan wrote, right? What do you think about it, guys? I really, I was touched by the what he wrote and about his things when he went to childhood and tried to figure out who he is. I think it's wonderful, and how he wrote. Charles, all of us wrote mission statements. All of us. So, and because you read and you know 7 Habits, did you have a chance to write your own mission statement?
Yes, but it's changed over the years.
Nice.
But I haven't updated it, but you know, I was reflecting on just catching up or refreshing myself on the 7 Habits. But okay,
But it's so wonderful. Can we ask you if you would be, of course, interested? But we are great pushers. We are here to push each other. Do not just to sit, relax, and listen and do nothing. We are pushing each other to our best. So, and can I, guys, from all of us, to ask Charles that we are very interested to hear your mission statement. We are giving you plenty of time, how long you want to redo it. And even we give you complete freedom if you decide that, no, I don't feel comfortable, no, I'm not interested. Of course, we won't push you. We will push you to do your best, renew it, and present to us.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll start to process that. I'll start working on that.
And don't know if you will join our message board, you can see all our all our mission statements there. So it's not that you will compare and copycat something. No, I just want that you would feel comfortable to see what are our mission statements were. If you don't want, if you think you don't need it, just go with your mission statement. Whatever you're ready, just let me know, and we will listen to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Charles, yeah, it's just that, you know, we basically posted our own personal mission statement and basically have it reviewed by, you know, the group and basically add value. I mean, I personally, you know, I personally like took a lot of, you know, from it because it helped me fine tune my, you know, mission statement. Like you, I basically update mine maybe like, you know, at a minimum every quarter. Just you know, not like, you know, big changes, but like little things that I come across, and it helped me. So anyway, it's just one of those things that I think this group can certainly help if, you know, if that's something that you want us to look at. So
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
No, definitely. Well, you know, just coming into the group, getting a grasp of everything that's been communicated, I'm just pretty much feeling you out, or feeling the group out as a whole. The book itself was wonderful, just getting a refresher of the book and how that, you know, my lenses or how I see and the habits that I've implemented. But all things aside, wow, this is definitely very proactive. I know with the whole time management and everything, but no, definitely I'm open to it overall, because obviously I do have a story which we'll get into as we move forward, but I'm definitely, and I'm at a crossroads in my journey of life. So I'm looking forward to sharing that as we get to know one another.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Guys, it's 5:30. and we actually need to finish our meeting. I would want to say a couple words about what Jan posted. So let's do this. Our official meeting completely finished. It's 5:30. Let's do this. If you want, welcome to stay. If you need to go, you can go, because it would be a little bit out of our content of Mr. Covey point. It would be slightly beyond, because we will go a little bit to me it's kind of beyond. We will go more in a spiritual way. Of course, we will use Mr. Covey approach always. This is what we are about. So please feel free if you need to go, and if you are tired or plan something else, please do it, okay? But I will continue. So he wrote, actually in his mission statement, I was an innocent boy. I lose my innocence when I grow. I am now a principle-centered man who is returning to innocence. I think it's very precious. I won't read everything what he wrote, because I hope everybody was writing. It's the reply on our question, who am I? Remember, I stressed about it a lot, because it's very, very important. So what do you think about this statement? Because we are discussing all mission statements, and this is a new statement in his mission statement. Yes, Brian.
Well, I see. I missed somebody. Anyhow, I wanted to actually just say that. Well, I was just gonna say thanks for the conversation today. I didn't want to miss. I guess I didn't want to miss anybody, but I guess Charles already left probably. But I was just going to say thanks for the conversation today. I kind of want to just thank everybody for a very interesting conversation and stuff. So
thank you, Brian. Thank you.
I wanted to catch everybody, but unfortunately Charles left, and I did want to actually thank Charles too. So, but that was all I wanted to say. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Jan.
Oh yes. Well, I want to clarify something. That's
Yes,
not my
please.
that's not my mission statement. That's okay. That's kind of statement of
Statement,
who I
right?
am.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I decided that you put it an ambition statement?
No, did
Okay,
I?
okay.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't put it in my mission statement. I said, okay, that is a statement about who I am.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Richard, please.
The word innocence or innocent, I think it bears some definition. And so I did look up the word and found that there is a minimum of 6 different definitions for the word.
Let's look at them.
It's a suitcase word.
So it was difficult to say what I feel, given that many of them, many of the definitions point back to some naivete or lack of knowledge, or as a child is innocent. And so, and others are very strict in their sense of, if you didn't commit a crime, then you're innocent. And so as far as innocence goes, it was hard to pinpoint.
Yes, so it's what we did, and I also want to say that while I think I understand what Jan meant, and I will try to say what I feel, because I feel deeply in heart what he meant. But as we are proactive, and we are like we adults with understanding of life and they're pretty intelligent, we need to know the words what we are using. Because while I'm talking, you can read quickly what Richard mentioned. This is the 8th definition of innocence, and it's kind of difficult to approach how we can use as an adult be innocent. Maybe we can substitute innocence for something else. So if you don't mind, let me tell my opinion actually to in your favor, Jan, because I don't know why, but it seems to me with my heart I feel what you meant. So what if we will go beyond? For example, if we will continue to think, who am I? To know if we will start to think, who am I? We will suddenly, or maybe not suddenly, or slowly or suddenly, we actually will figure out that we are not our body. Its body needs can demand when we are hungry, when we want to sleep, even to know when we are angry. Am I when I am angry? No, it's not me. So then we will even figure out that I am not my emotions. I am not my thoughts. I am even not what I'm doing. So who am I? I am a little piece of God. I am a little piece of consciousness. And I will start to feel that I always lived, I'm living, and I always will live. This is why I hear from people who are like my age and older, I don't feel that I'm that old. Yes, it's your memory, guys. It's your memory. You are 50, 60, 70 years old, but your heart is young. And when we are, and this is what Jan meant, that we are all good. Do you remember all the time I'm keep telling you are wonderful inside. Even if somebody is angry, even if somebody is doing something bad, do know why he is doing. Not because he's thinking I'm bad and I will do that. No, he is or she is doing it through angriness, through enviness, through some other greediness, through something which cloud her heart and her thoughts, and she or he doing that, but they inside, we are all innocent inside. And yes, Jan, you're completely right when you told that I'm not only a learner, all of us were innocent. And even it's in psychology saying that children until 5 years old, they are innocent. But sometimes parents think that all their lives will be innocent. No, they are innocent, but they are starting like layers of onion. They start to cover themselves with innocent, a little layer of greediness, a little layer of enviness, a little layers of where they are living. They're living among us, right? And they become who we are. So they're innocent, absolutely the same, like everybody is innocent, right? And what I love, what Jan said, that being a principle-centered man, guys, we can do whoever we want. We actually, yes, we even can be innocent. Because why the centered, when we are centered men, we can do whatever we want. But what I want to say, we need to be strict to ourselves and very kind to somebody else. And don't know why, just to balance. Do you remember, you cannot see a piece of log in your eye, but you see a piece of dust in somebody's eye, somebody else's eye. So in order to balance that, we need to be very strict with yourself, but very kind with somebody else. And where I see we can use the principle of innocence, we can use it exactly to somebody else. And if we will see that person inside is beautiful, it would be just easier for us to love him, or even not just love. Love, we cannot right away love everyone. At least appreciate that he's a human being, appreciate that he is, and remember that he is good inside. It will let us to like him. And if we like, it's also psychology, if we like somebody, he or she respond to us the same. But if we right away, a person is behaving, for example, not good, and we right away to see it, and we actually to say him the truth or her the truth that you are ruthless, you are rude, for example, you are bad. Person think about himself or herself that he's bad, right? He will be offended at you, even if you are right. So see innocence in people. This is how I understand what you mean, Jan. And Richard is holding his hand, please.
Oh, we can associate innocence with children, but there's so many other qualities of children that that if we are innocent like children, that we would take on those additional qualities as well. Like children lack biases. Children are eager to listen.
Good point.
Children are humble. Can we be innocent like children? I don't know that we can actually be innocent, but can we be like children? And just to point out that there's other qualities that children have as well that also serve us well as adults.
I love your adding. I absolutely love it. I was so concentrated on innocence that I actually miss it. But many spiritual speakers and philosophers, they are saying that we are getting old when we start to play. We are losing our curiosity. Because we know everything, we decide that we know everything, we become stagnant. This is from mental point of view. We always need to be curious and keep our mind young, right? Even to know how we are moving. I'm a Tai Chi instructor, and when I was teaching students, to know what we are doing. If we need to turn our head, we just turn our head. If we need something rich, look at my body. I don't move my body. I'm just taking and reaching something. And this is our body do not move. We remove it out of the movements and stagnance. So what children are doing, if they want something to reach, they are reaching with their whole body. And this is the much benefit of it, because they are enriching their body with movements. So of course, we don't need now to be all over like children, but a lot we can learn from children. Great point. Even breathing, we even become the wrong breathers. We don't breathe correctly, but we need to breathe like children. So a lot we can learn from them. Great. And maybe Jan, Patrick, can we ask Jan? Maybe he wants to correct me. And then we will listen to you. Okay? Yes, Jan, please.
No, just a curiosity. I'm curious. What did you say? What teacher? Qing? What teacher
Tai
you
Chi.
were?
Tai
Oh,
Chi
Tai
and
Chi.
Qigong. Yes, I'm a
God.
certified Tai Chi and Qigong instructor, and I studied actually in China.
Okay, you are certified Tai Chi teacher. Certified in Republic of China. From Republic China.
Yes.
Okay, so do you mind I ask which style do you perform?
Where I was?
Style. Which style, for example, Yang Tai Chi or
Oh, style.
Chen?
Yes. I know 7 styles. However,
7. Gosh.
yes, San, Chen, Tai Chi with fan, Tai Chi with sword, And so I know
Oh,
many
yes.
styles, but my
Okay.
my favorite, of course, Jan style.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's great. Yes, because I have practiced Tai Chi for 2 years now. So
Wonderful,
yes, I
wonderful.
studied the young style.
Yes,
Yes.
we can talk about it over. Thank you, Jan. Can I
Okay.
ask what Patrick wants to say? Okay, who is Patrick?
Yeah, so you were talking about innocent in terms of, I mean, I like the way that you frame innocent from a perspective of like providing grace and providing mercy, right? Because that's what you're talking about in terms of the innocence. And you know, I've been thinking about this, since I read Jan's post. I was like, well, is innocent, as we are more aware of the material world, right? Like you said, we cover our innocent, right? But is it possible where we work with our innocence, using using the 7 habits to basically bring it to the point where we actually create relationship from a perspective of, principal center, right? Obviously it's possible, but from a has an anchor, right? As an anchor to say, hey, I understand what you really want, right? But what I really want from this scenario that is virtuous is ABC. Like, for example, Jan with Jan's presentation is like, hey, I know what you really want is, training somebody in-house so that you can hire them. But you know what I will really want from this is like, because I am passionate about IT and cloud, I want, the right thing to do or the virtuous thing to do is like getting involved with you guys, but I'm bringing a lot more to the table for you guys, from that perspective. So I get, so my question there is, how do we systematically bring that innocent out in our conversation, or how do we listen for innocence from other people when, even though when they're not saying it, they're not demonstrating it, but seeing through the mud, right, to get to that.
What I pointed, what I see only, because again I can say that in my opinion in this question there cannot be only one correct answer. We can only say from our perspective. So to be innocent in an adult way, we cannot be adult and be completely innocent. We cannot, because you see what is the definition, we really cannot. We can see innocence only in other people. Only, in my opinion, only in this way we can provide the more better platform, the situation win-win. Because if we will believe in people, if we will trust, but we don't afraid to somebody will be use us, because we are centered. We don't need to afraid nothing already with our center-oriented personality, right? And what Richard added, that we need to have flexible mind. We need to have curiosity. So right now, Patrick, you can use your curiosity, innocent curiosity, to figure out about that person with whom you are working. But this is would be a good example.
Yeah, I mean, the way I apply it is basically like I basically trust somebody until they prove to me that they cannot be trusted. So that's how I work. But
so it means we are proving that you are doing right. So this you can pat yourself on your head and say, good for me. Richard, please.
Yeah, just to add a little bit to what you were saying is that to be open-minded, if you and I know Patrick has a son, I have a daughter. And we experience this to a certain degree. If Sean were here, he's a school teacher dealing with young people. And what do? Is they listen to you and they ask questions. They don't assume that they know more than you do. And then sometimes you'll get several why questions in a row. And so if we can take on that same role, I believe that comes pretty close to what our next discussion is about listening and diagnosing before prescribing. And so, yeah, that's my take. Thank you.
Okay. So great, great adding as usual, Richard. What I want to point that we don't need to use one approach only. This is a problem not only some one person. This is usual approach of all of us. We heard something and we are using the same approach. And when we are using one approach and they do not know about the other approaches, we are going out of balance. So just watch what you are saying all the time, not Richard, you personal, I mean everyone, and including me. What we are using, just start to be aware. What does mean aware? Just watch what you're saying. Just watch what you're thinking. Just watch what you're doing. And when we were talking about that, Aristotle said, you are what you do, we decided that we are doing something every day. It doesn't mean that I was asking you, stop thinking, stop reading, and just do. No, we continue do that. I just wanted to tell you, and I told already, and you know that we are big masters of thinking, of reading, of listening, but let's start to do every single day what I need to do, what I did today, like at the end of the day, little step. Brian, please.
I had the thought, you know, while you guys were talking, I had thought about, you know, innocence in the sense of trying to, you know, to avoid preconceptions in, you know, in situations. You know, it's like trying to, you know, keep I guess keep an open mind and stuff like that, and avoid, you know, judging or, you know, prejudging, you know, prejudices and stuff like that. So sort of the idea of innocence in the sense of keeping, you know, just avoiding a lot of the,
Right,
you know,
right.
the preconceptions and stuff like that.
Good point, Brian. Good point. Guys, it just will take 3 minutes and I will finish because I mentioned that I discovered many good, not many good things, just something else. You remember that Jan wrote that whoever said it, he was emotional about, he was thinking, he was mentioning about me and how he said so no, you remember what he said and I already don't remember. Whoever said it, he must have felt me. It was wonderful. And he was asking that he doesn't know who said it. And I can tell you that Jesus said it. What Jan found Jesus, and it was in Matthew 18:3. So very interesting. Can somebody read it quickly?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Yes,
So,
please.
the disciples had asked Jesus a question that came from their own disputes about who among them was the greatest. They wanted to know who would be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Jesus began by telling them that they need to turn to become like children, or they would not even enter the kingdom of heaven. In other words, entrance into heaven's kingdom cannot be gained by defeating all opponents or demonstrating personal accomplishment. Those who would enter must make themselves humble by recognizing that, like little children, they're powerless over the circumstances of their lives. They're completely dependent on God to provide for them what they need and to protect them from harm. Only with that kind of honest humility and dependent on God can anyone come into his kingdom.
Thank you so much. So what I noticed that, do you remember Richard before was asking a question, and he was asking, do we always will dependent on God? And I actually answered that we have a relationship with God. And see, guys, completely dependent on God. Let's think about it. I promise I will give you like 3 minutes of my thought, but I really want to know your opinion. And again, I don't plan to offend somebody like spiritual belief or something like this. I'm contemplating from the point of view, Mr. Covey, and just philosophizing based on many religions, not on particular religion of Christ or the other religion, for example, of Muslim or somebody else. So what I want to say, while I agree, dependent on God to provide for us. Right, we cannot create a thing. We cannot create vegetables, fruits, air, water, right? Everything God is providing to us. To protect us from harm. How's about that? And you know, it's not that it's said, do something yourself. See what is Christianity is saying, and our religion is saying, to protect us. And we depend on completely on God. What does it mean? It's kind of teaches us do not do anything. It's teaching us to be really powerless and just completely depend from God. How's about that? Go
Can we
ahead,
chime
Patrick.
in or no?
Yeah, just go
Well,
ahead.
Well, I think, that's only half of the equation, right? The other half is basically, God depend on us to glorify him, right? Through action, right? Like in James, right? That says that, hey, faith is dead without work, right? So we have to basically basically act, right, on to show our virtue, our faith,
Where is
right?
it written? I agree with you. Where is
In
it? It's what
James,
you are.
in the book of James, yeah.
Okay, but this is the problem. When it's written like this, directly, that we need to be powerless and we need completely depend on God for the rest of our life, because he will provide us and protect us. Many people just don't do anything. Let's
I am
look this.
it's so funny. I have like heated argument with like churchgoer about this. That's why I'm like, yeah, they're not really Christians, they're churchgoers. Like they
But
relate on this.
Yes, this is where the problems are come. How is about if I will tell you, guys, Mr. Covey said, don't do anything and completely depend on them on something, and you will say, how is that? I thought, oh, Mr. Covey didn't mean that. He meant that, and what all those conversations will go and go and go on. The wisdom, it's say precise and clear and simple. It shouldn't be create all this complication. Just 1 second, Richard, okay? And then what, for example, very similar what I'm studying in the other Holy Scripture. It's I wrote word by word. It's written this instruction exactly. I didn't create anything. It's written this instruction is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagement. One can continue them and at the same time pray in his heart. What kind of question can be? What kind of miscomplication can be? So do you understand? I don't blame something. I'm just confused, and I was asking your explanation. Richard, please.
Well, I would say that my understanding is that kind of faith and and completely dependent on God can give you peace to the point where you're able to function more clearly. Now, there is no situation where God will extend his hand out and pull you away from that car that's about to hit you. That's not going to happen. But instead of that, if you certainly believe and have faith, it's possible that mentally you could be awakened to a danger and given the right action to move forward. So it doesn't mean that we cease to take action. I believe it just we open our minds to God because we have faith, complete faith in him.
I absolutely agree with you. But would it be easier to just write how it's written in Veda without any complication and divide and do not use powerless and completely dependent? Patrick, please.
Well, sadly, right, the scripture has been used as a political tool, right? So let's be realistic, right? Even today, right? And I literally had this conversation in our small group today, literally today, about this, right?
Wow.
Because
we are on the same page. Yeah.
because the thing is, and I keep telling him, it's like, I basically, took a point to say, look, I'm going to basically take the other side of that tray and defend mankind. Like, we know what we know because God had blessed us what we know. However, right, do we make mistakes? Yes. That's why we come together and figure out what the mistakes are and what does the truth, the scripture or the Veda or whoever, right, figure out what it is so that we could do things right. It doesn't mean like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna sit at home and eat bonbons and I'm and I said I'm safe, I'm good to go, or pepperoni pizza in Richard's face, that I'm good. But but that's not the case. And the thing is, you're right that these scripture, a lot of it, they are like I said, they are written, and then they are basically positioned as political tools for those who are in power to stay in power, right? Whereas Veda, right, it's good, it's for the benefit of humanity, right? And I think that's the difference,
You can read it yourself and you can understand. However, of course, when you read it with the teacher or guru, you understand it on a much, much deeper level. Okay, guys, if you don't want to add anything, I want to finish our meeting. It's already 6 p.m. Thank you so much. I tremendously enjoyed our conversation. I see you next Sunday at 4 p.m. And yes, we will start habit number 5. It's fantastic, fantastic habit. I already wrote to you that that habit is all about me. I will work on it. I promise. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, everybody.